I think the connection is really, really bad. So I apologize for that. I'll just give you some quick thoughts and then I'm going to shoot back off because I can already see people in the comment section saying that it's not the best and it's not really working on my end. So first off, really poor. Offense, really concerning. Protection was bad. Sam Darnold was looking awful. Running game was nowhere to be found. Play calling was bizarre. Did not like that on a third and short, you've got Sam Darnold running over to his left and throwing back across his body and getting intercepted again, when you could just run the football and get into a better position to extend that drive. Instead, it was a turnover. And then you sort of look at the end of the half there, where that could easily have been a touchdown. The refs called it back. He stepped out of bounds. The broadcasters were saying that should have been given as a touchdown. Instead of it being 10-3, it ends up being 6-6 at halftime. And it just felt as if, right, you've got to take advantage. It should be 10-3 Falcons. It should be 13-3 to the Falcons. They should be winning convincingly. And they're not. It's 6-6. So you have to make the most of this. And I'll be really honest with you. It might be too much information. I went for a piss right at the start of the second half and missed Rashid Shaheed's return touchdown, came back into the room, saw that the Seahawks scored a touchdown, rewound the tape to be able to go and watch that. And from there on in, it was as if, it was like a magic piss, because everything that happened after that was absolutely perfect. All of a sudden, the offense was humming. Sam Darnold's throwing it all around the field. He's looking fantastic again. It was great to see Rashid Shaheed actually contributing in a meaningful way and getting that big touchdown to kick things off. The defense played absolutely brilliantly, lights out all the way through that game. Nick Emenwari was just unbelievable for the whole game. Sort of watching, and admittedly it's the Falcons, but, you're watching that game and you're thinking, he's playing better than they were comparing him to Kyle Hamilton and Derwin James. They are both exceptional football players. Neither of them have the athletic talent that Nick Emenwari's got. So if he can be anywhere close to them on a technical level, on sort of that field vision, that sort of identifying what's happening in front, slowing the game down. That's what Kyle Hamilton was so good at Notre Dame. Everything was just so slow from in front of him that he could read and react. And if Nick Emenwari can get that aspect down, then the physical brilliance that he has will make him the best player that has ever played in that kind of hybrid role that we have seen in the NFL. He was unbelievable. The block kick, sort of flying around the field. He got an interception, the sack, everything about that was unbelievable. And just sort of watching that defense led by the returning Jarran Reed, who got a forced fumble with that big club in his hand. The defense just looks amazing. And that's the thing. If you are looking for a reason why the Seahawks are going to potentially go on and be Super Bowl contenders, it's because they can go and play opponents. And when they play the bad opponents, as they did today, they'll just blow them away. How many times in the Pete Cowley did we talk about that we're playing a bad team and it's ended up being a one-score game? They just blow these bad teams away more often than not. Even if the Titans a few weeks ago came back and made a bit of a game of it, it never really got sort of where you were concerned that the Seahawks were going to lose that game. So they're blowing away these bad opponents. They are competitive in a way that you need to be on defense to have a good playoff run. It's just whether they can get that running game to take another step forward and whether Sam Darnold can just play clean football. That is probably going to be the difference between this team going and having a deep, deep playoff run and looking fantastic and maybe, falling short at the end. But I just thought that was such an encouraging second half, and I loved every second of that. So, to look at some of the statistics, if I can just get that up again, the Wi-Fi is absolutely shocking here. I've paid a fortune for this Wi-Fi. It's no good. So I'm very disappointed about that. I have got a super. I'll get to the super chat now. I'll wait for the stats to load. If I can actually, even the super chat is not loading up now. So it's from Mike. It says, is it possible I was mistaken in preferring Xavier Watts? I think he means Watts. Xavier Watts to Nick Emenwari. Yes, Mike. Yes, that is correct. Because Emenwari is just a different level, man. I mean, Watts was playing in this game and he had a terrible angle on one of the plays. Awful. Okay, let's have a look at the statistics. So Sam Darnold ended up with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. If you'd have said that at halftime, I don't think anybody would have believed you with the way that he played in that first half. But he was good enough. The running game ended up with 129 yards. They got over 100 yards basically because Velus Jones ran for that 25-yard gain at the end. Good to see Jackson Smith and Jigba getting back up towards where you expect him to be after last week. 92 yards and 7 receptions, a couple of touchdowns for him. Good to see Cooper Kupp involved. And as we mentioned, not just a kick return from Rashid Shaheed, but, 4 receptions on 5 targets for 67 yards is really good. And then, I can't believe they only had 1 sack, Seattle. It felt like there was pressure on Kirk Cousins all of the time. Emma in the sack, but then you forced fumble from John Reed. Interception for Devon Witherspoon. Interception for Nicky Manwari. Just a really good, impactful game of defense. And we should really talk about Jay Harbaugh as well, because in the summer, in the preseason, there was that, I can't remember which game it was. Was it the Chiefs game where they gave up the big kick return and the kick coverage wasn't very good? And we did, at least, amongst those of us who cover the Seahawks online, were sort of voicing some concerns about the special teams and how that could be a problem in the season unless they work that out, because there have been some issues last year. How good has this special teams been this year? The block kick, the kick return, just the fact that you feel like you can trust the special teams week in, week out. They are doing such a tremendous job on special teams, and you've got to give Jay Harbaugh a ton of credit there. So I'm feeling very good about the Seahawks. I mean, they still need to go and get that. It's all well and good sort of doing this against the Falcons and some of these other bad teams. It's going to beat the Rams. Like, the Colts game next week is not going to be of the kind of caliber that we were expecting it to be a few weeks ago. We were thinking that could be a championship kind of contest. Daniel Jones has gone off with an Achilles injury today. He'd already been playing with a broken leg. And it looks as if he is not going to be able to play next week. I think that means that Riley Leonard will start his first NFL game next weekend. I think Anthony Richardson's still on injured reserve. Even if Anthony Richardson came back, I don't think you're going to be sort of thinking this is a terrifying prospect to play the Colts next week in Seattle. On top of that, Sauce Gardner's already out injured. So their sort of big trade on trade deadline, he's not going to be available. That is a game the Seahawks should win, and probably should win handsomely as they have done today. And then you go on to, I think, the Rams games after that, isn't it? So, that's sort of the opportunity there to go get your signature, which they're still looking for. And I feel like I need to see the Seahawks win one of those games. The Rams, the Niners, if they could win both of those going into the postseason, you'd feel really good. But most important in the minute, just got to keep winning. Now, just ask the question of the Rams and the Bears and the other teams at the top of the NFC. Can you go and get another win? Can you go and keep up pace with Seattle, who've got their win in the books here in the early window of games? So really good job for the Seahawks there. I just, again, I take my hat off to everything about the season run. They could disappoint us very early in the playoffs. That is possible. It's a wide open NFL season. Anything could happen there. But I feel this is a team that's heading in the right direction. So I'm going to stream here. Check the Wi-Fi. That's going okay. I'm just going to call it a day and go and enjoy the rest of my holiday. But I'll be wearing my Seahawks hat. I had a few people sort of calling out the Seahawks, go Hawks, earlier on the boat. I'm going to be wearing this across the boat for the rest of the day. There are a lot of Steelers and Ravens fans. Half of them are going to be disappointed on the boat for the rest of the night. So that could be quite entertaining as well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my holiday now and go back to, I wish I could show you the view that I've got just outside this window at the Atlantic Ocean. Great weather. And compared to where I would have been in Yorkshire in England, the weather's very, very different. So I'm going to go enjoy that. I'm going to go and have an old-fashioned and enjoy life. Enjoy the rest of the NFL weekend. Enjoy the Seahawks win. I'll be speaking to you, Bump and Stacey, on Tuesday. I'm still doing that. Seahawks Collective on Tuesday. I'm still doing that. And hopefully we'll fit in something with Puck as well. But for now, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Great win for the Seahawks. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video.